All right, welcome to part one in drawing in Design Spark. Design Spark is a 2D and 3D program that you can download from their website. And the first thing you do when you open up Design Spark is you'll get this start page here. Shows you some information. There's actually 3 levels of subscriptions you can have. The first one's Explorer, which is free. It's actually really cool for beginners if you don't want to put any money into it. Just kind of try it out. Do the Explorer, and that actually works pretty well. I use Creator, which I pay 13 bucks a month at the time of this recording. This has a little bit more functionality. In Explorer, you can't save out DXF files, but you can save STL files for 3D printing and laser cutting and all that. For Creator, you can save DXF, import and export, as well as some other extensions. Engineer has a top level right there. This is a little bit more money, but it has more flexibility as far as the drawing atmosphere and what you can save out to. And it's got a lot more than I need right now. So what I'm going to be showing you today is Creator. So if you want to check out the description options and see what kind of functionality it has, go ahead and click on these little buttons down here below the one you're interested in. Okay, so let's go ahead and close the start page out. So I'm gonna hit this X, and here is our drawing area right here. We want to first start out by going to File, Design Spark Options, and this window is gonna pop up. Let's go ahead and go to Units. You're going to set your units, whether it's inches or millimeters. It's whatever you want to design in, but this is the first thing you really have to start before you start drawing in, just to make sure everything is correct. There's also different options for your appearance. If you want to change the background of your drawing environment, change the line color, line width, and different options here. I usually keep this all the same after I change the units. I'm going to click OK. And let's go ahead and get a design started here. So I'm going to hit File, hover over New, and left click on Design. All right, so it brings up our grid pattern right here. And if I click and the center wheel and just kind of drag it around, this does a 3D view of our design area right here. And if I roll the wheel back towards me, you zoom in, you roll it away from me, it zooms out. Also, if you want a different view on the left side, it says View, and if you double click on each of these, it'll change to whatever view that you need. So right now, I'm going to double click on top. We're going to start in the top view right here. All right, so for an example, let's go ahead and look up here, the sketch box here. On the left side of the sketch box, you have the basic drawing tools, line, rectangles, circles, and so on. On the right side of the sketch box are the modify tools, which you can put a corner on your rectangles, fillet the corners, offset, and trim. So let's go ahead and click on the rectangle. I'm going to click on one point in our screen and pull to the right. So if you notice the blue highlighting at the top of my rectangle, it's ready for me to put an input. So if I want that 2 inches, I'm going to put 2. Hit enter, and it locks it in at 2 inches wide, and then it automatically goes down to the height. So let's go ahead and hit 1, enter. Now this rectangle is locked in at 2 inches by 1 inch. So I'm gonna hit escape, and let's go ahead and double click on top. So it automatically created our 1 inch by 2 inch rectangle. So what we can do with this is actually go up here to mode, hit the 3D mode there, and now we're in the 3D design space. Okay, so with this rectangle, we can do really cool things. So I'm going to push in the mouse wheel and roll it up a little bit just to kind of see a 3D perspective of it. If I want to extrude this, I'm going to click up here, pull. I'm going to click on the plane that I want to pull up, and click outside and pull it up, and you can see it to start to extrude. And when I let go of my left mouse click, now I can type in, say, 0.5. Now I've got a 5 inch tall rectangle. Hit escape, and we've got a box. pretty cool, pretty easy. The next thing we can do is say I want to move this rectangle from this point. This is my reference point, and I want to move it to our 0, 0, 0 point in our drawing. I'm going to click Move. I'm going to left click and highlight over the entire box, and you could see our origin for the box here. I'm going to click on the center of that and pull it into the corner. You'll see it turns into a little box there. Now what I want to do, if I want to lock it from here into this, I can go over here on the left side in the options, and it says enter XYZ. I'm going to click that. And now I can move that corner of that box into position into our 0 origin. So I'm going to hit 0, tab, 0, tab, and 0, and hit enter, and it moves our box for us. Pretty neat. All right, another thing we could do is we can put maybe some fillets, or some fillets, sorry, on the corner. So I'm going to hit pull, and you have options of different type of modifications on your 3D part that you want to do. So you can hit this corner, this front edge, the top edge, or if you want to hit this edge right here, you're going to click on the line, click out here, and then drag it in there with your left mouse click. And when I release it, it'll also highlight in blue to whatever radius I want to do. So let's go 0.25. So 0.25, we got a 1/4 inch radius. Now we radius that corner. So what if I wanted to radius the whole top at 0.25? I'm going to Control Z that and Control Z again, hit escape. So what I can do is, still in the pull mode, I'm going to highlight over this line, double click it. Now if you see, it highlighted the top corners of my box, all the top corners of my box. And if I click out here with my left mouse click and pull in, now I am radiusing all of the top corners. So when I release it, I can put in my radius of 0.25. Now I've got a top radius of 0.25 on my box. So that's pretty cool. So let's put a hole in the middle of this box here, okay? So what I want to do is go up here to the mode and the sketch mode, click on that. Now it's asking me, what drawing plane do I want to start on? Do I want to do the front? Do I want to do the side? So I'm not clicking on these. I'm just highlighting over the plane of the edge, or of the face. I can do the bottom. Let's go ahead and put a hole right in the top here. So I'm going to highlight over here, left click. So now I am drawing in the top plane here. Let me go ahead and go with the top, double click on top. So if I want to put a hole right in the center of this box right here, I need a reference point. If I want to put a circle, I can't really pick up the center of this box right here, but if you highlight on these lines, you'll see a triangle. It locks into the center of that line, locks onto the edge right here. Let's go ahead and put a reference line. So I'm going to click line. I'm going to go up here, left click, pull it down here, and it's pretty neat. It keeps it at 90 degrees. You can lock this in at 90 degrees in your options. So that's basically at default. So I'm going to come down to this other line. There's another triangle, and left click, hit escape. Now I've got a line in the center of my box to where I can pick up the center of this line and draw my circle. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and click circle, and I'm going to let it lock onto the center. Left click, pull it out. Say we want a 1/4 inch circle on the top of this box here. So I'm going to release the left click, push 0.25, hit enter. Now we have a 1/4 inch diameter circle here. Hit escape. Now, if I want to use this circle to put a hole through this, I'm going to go back to my 3D mode, and we're back into our 3D environment. So I don't need this reference line anymore. I'm going to hit select and just hit delete. I don't need this line, hit delete. I don't need this line, hit delete. Okay, so let's go ahead and put a hole through the center of this box. Now, there's this pull thing we just used before. You could either pull out a side, You could stretch your box. I'm gonna hit Control Z because I didn't want to change it. But you can also go the other way too. So I'm gonna click on that enclosed geometry here, the enclosed face there. So I can click on this part that doesn't include the circle. I can click on a front face. I can click on the bottom. But if I click on this circle, which is a closed face, I can pull it through. So I'm going to left click out onto the right side. Sorry. Left click and hold and pull down. And that pulls that face through another face, which creates our circle, which is pretty cool. All right, so next thing we can do is let's put a little chamfer on this edge right here, okay? So I'm gonna click this edge right here, and you can see there are these drawing utilities that come up here after you clicked it. So we can either put a round, we can put a chamfer, and there's other options we can do. I'm gonna put a chamfer here. I'm gonna click chamfer, and I'm gonna pull from outside of my box here, and I'm gonna pull it down. Say we want a 100,000 chamfer. So I'm gonna release it, hit 0.1, enter, boom. We've got a 100,000 chamfer on the top of our circle there. So this is just a basic starting of Design Spark tutorial, I guess. Check back with me in the next video, and I will see you then.